Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I'd show you this awesome piece of hardware. This is LG's best phone from 2015, but don't let that date put you off, because this is actually quite a really good smartphone, and I'll tell you why. It's actually got a really awesome display inside with a resolution of 2560 by 1440. It's also an IPS panel, which means it's got better viewing angles than other panel types. It comes only with 3GB of RAM, which is a good amount for nice multitasking. It's got a 32GB hard drive as well, so you'll get all of your apps and even, the photos and videos that you take on this phone straight onto the hard drive. But for storing all your extra media and everything, it has support up to 1/4 TB SD cards, which, by the way, it's just an amazing amount. How do they fit that much in such a tiny, small footprint? But if that also isn't enough for you, you can buy adapters like this, which plug into the charging port of your phone and allows you to plug any USB in here. Since the phone is powering this, you won't be able to power any external hard drives off of it. Editing Kaz here. Actually, you can use hard drives with the adapter, but they have to be formatted to FAT. And NTFS does not work. But you can plug in USBs or SD card adapters as well. So in theory you can have as much storage as you want, and I love modularity. Okay, so we've talked about the RAM and hard drive and all that, but we haven't talked about this thing on the back here, which is the camera. One thing that really drew me to this phone was the fact that it had optical image stabilization, which is quite a bit better than digital stabilization. I've only ever had phones that didn't have any stabilization at all before, and as such this has been my best smartphone, because the optical image stabilization really helped to get sharper images at slower shutter speeds. But it also helps for shooting videos, and over here on my channel you've actually already seen a bunch of videos that I've shot on this thing, and it's not bad at all. Of course, it's still a smartphone camera and you can't really fault it for that. The tiny little sensors that fit into this thing have a harder time with dynamic range and things like that, but as smartphone cameras go, it's not too bad. It allows you to take the raw images from the sensor and post-process them in Photoshop any way you like. And that really sold me on it, because of course I'm a photographer and I like that kind of thing. It also has video, which can be shot at up to 4K, which is pretty handy for some. Although I didn't really test it out that much because, well, this is the only device I have that can shoot in 4K, so and I didn't really want to do a whole video on just this phone anyway. One of the things that is unique to this phone is the lack of physical buttons around the outside edges of this phone. All of the buttons are here on the back. As you can see, here's the lock key, and here are the two volume keys. Pretty simple and elegant, and also kind of a little bit different to what I'm used to from most of my smartphones. It did take me a little while to get used to, but after I did, I actually loved it. When you're using the phone, your finger can rest easily on all the buttons on the back. Speaking of the back, when you remove it, it shows you the removable battery, as well as the SD card and SIM card slot. So yes, you can replace this battery or buy aftermarket ones, although unfortunately I don't think there are any aftermarket batteries built for the G4. The same can't be said about the G3 though. For those of you who are wondering, the model number for the battery is BL-51YF. Thankfully all the batteries have a date on them which tells you when they were made. Now you might be wondering why I haven't actually shown you a video of this thing on, and that's because unfortunately about a week or two ago it died on me, and yes, there's no hope of getting it back, which sucks a little bit because I really should have been doing this a little bit earlier. But because I've had such a good experience with it, I thought I'll give it a review anyway. What I can do, however, is show you some video with the LG G3 screen, which does actually work. For the most part, the G3 and the G4 are pretty similar in terms of operating system and screen specifications. In the G4 you have this bar at the top here, which allows you to control all kinds of things, including flashlight and airplane mode and all that. Brightness and vibrates are down here, and then comes notifications. You can have multiple screens in the desktop, and you also get all your apps through here. Games played quite well. Yeah, I never had a problem with anything like that. You can have multiple app shortcuts in here which take you straight to the app. So I've got camera, gallery, memo, text messages and phone call. It's quite handy if you need to get around quickly. I won't really spend too much time showing you footage of the G3 because they are a little bit different in some ways. The G4 is slightly longer, which also makes their batteries the tiniest bit different, and unfortunately you can't interchange them, which sucks for me because I've got two G4 batteries and I could love to use them in the G3, but anyway. Could I recommend you buy this? Yes, I think I could. It's got quite a good laundry list of features on it, which are very handy for even somebody like a power user, which I consider myself. You're getting a Quad HD screen with a 16 megapixel and 4K video snapper on the back, as well as 3 GB of RAM and a healthy dose of 32 GB of hard drive space. Plenty of enough for even the longest list of apps. Along with that, you get a removable battery, interchangeable back, as well as removable storage, and a different design. I've been quite happy using this, and maybe I'll even get another one in the future, even though this one broke on me. So that maybe says a lot about it. I'll leave you today with a bunch of photos and videos that I've shot on this thing, so that you can see exactly what you can get out of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.